Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm assuming we're live, inshallah. Welcome to another show of the Dawah Hour with
Can't hear anything.
amazing brothers, mashallah, Imran, and we got a side of Joni, and now we see his hand, mashallah.
Assalamu alaikum. How's everyone?
Assalamu wa rahmatullah, Imran, boy, how are you?
Good, bro. How's things?
Alhamdulillah. Is there an echo just my side, or can you guys hear it as well?
No, my side seems fine.
Okay. So yeah, so brothers and sisters, we have been discussing a few. We covered characteristics of a da'i, the kind of characteristics you should have, which is very important. We also discussed motivations of dawah, rewards of dawah, because a lot of people they get motivated for a little while, and then that motivation drains, it goes away. So it's very important that motivation for dawah is always something that we can remind, inshallah. And then I think the last weekend or the last show, it was a bit of a mixed bag, alhamdulillah. A lot of questions, a lot of discussions on different dawah scenarios. So alhamdulillah, our esteemed producer, Sohail bhai, he suggested that inshallah we can maybe dedicate today's show on initiation. Initiation, or in other words, how to start a dawah conversation, which I've received, and maybe Imran can confirm this as well, and Joni as well, that this is something a lot of brothers in du'at they struggle with. So they got the knowledge, they want to do it, and they got the ilm, they got the training, but it's that first starting. So yeah, just your thoughts on that, brother, then we can go into the show. Inshallah.
To be honest, bro, it's one of the most difficult aspects of the dawah for most people, which is to start a conversation. Once people start a conversation, it's quite natural. The flow is quite natural from there on. But as you've noticed as well, most of us are not super extroverted when it comes to starting a discussion with random strangers. Especially when you live in the West, that's not a very natural thing to do anyway. So we struggle with that. But obviously, mashallah, there's some brothers that are extremely good at it, like yourself, mashallah. You're very blessed with initiating conversations, and that's a lot to do with your background, your training, all of this type of stuff. So it's going to be a good show, because I think this is one of the neglected areas that we don't talk about much, but it's a crucial area, because if you don't start a conversation, you don't have a conversation. So it's good we're touching upon this today, inshallah.
Okay, brilliant. Joni, when you stop messing around with your camera angles, any comments on this, bro? Is this something that you think is very important? You're mute. Your mic, you're muted, bro. Can't hear you. Anyway, when Joni sorts this out, brothers and sisters who are online, let's have some really good sharing. Share this with all your contacts on Facebook. Share this on WhatsApp. Share with everyone else, inshallah. Maybe they can benefit. And if they benefit and they use some tips that we use today, or we discussed today in this video, and if they use it, and through the using of these tips and ideas, people come to Islam, the hearts are open to Allah, they come to Allah, you get a reward of it just by sharing, inshallah. So share this far and wide, brothers and sisters. Yeah, Joni, are you with us?
Yes, bro. I can hear you.
Yeah, bro. So just on this topic, do you think it's a very important topic, and how important do you think it is? And then we can go into it, inshallah.
It is very important. Like Allah says in the Quran, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allah says in the Quran, like, people are different. So when you speak to the audience, you need to understand who you're talking to. It's very important to understand that the person, how you approach to them, how you approach a teenager, how you approach an elderly person, how you approach a person who has emotional baggage. All these things you need to understand, you need to read their mind. As a da'i, you should be sharp, you should be understanding that where I'm coming from. So if you understand your approach, like Allah says in the Quran, people are different. Always remember that. Sometimes you will speak to them, they will ignore you like intel. You may feel like insulted, but it's just they have a baggage. It's not, they have nothing against you personally. It's because they have so many incidents happening in their life. That's why they don't like to hear you or this kind of conversation. But eventually, if you don't give up, if you try to find out his language that he understands, I mean his attitude, why he is like that, then that helps, I think. Yeah,
brilliant, really good insights, bro. Jazakallah. So, brothers, I think the way we approach it is, I've made a few points. I've actually made quite a lot of points. So, without it descending into a lecture or training, I'm going to speak for about, inshallah, a couple of minutes, 2-3 minutes. I'm going to give some suggestions and points which I feel may help brothers and sisters who are watching. And if there's something that I've missed, or maybe I'm going the wrong track, I hope that my co-host, inshallah, bring me back on track and maybe prompt me with the question, inshallah. So let me see how, let's approach it like this. And again, if brothers and sisters, if you have questions or if you don't understand the point, we can definitely discuss it, inshallah. So for me, this is a huge topic. And when I was thinking about it, I've actually, alhamdulillah, I just chatted with Brother Sohail. I'm inshallah writing a book that I did start, and I've got far to a certain extent. Now I've stopped again, but I'm going to rewrite it again because it's a question that everybody asks. So there's a lot of things to talk about, but it's a small show, it's a 1 hour show. So I'm going to give some key points. I think the first point, brothers and sisters, and Imran, Joni, I think it's the psychology. I think it's the mindset that if I can, inshallah, us brothers who are in training, if we can instill in brothers and sisters a certain mindset before they approach someone, then half the job is done. I think more than 80-90% of the job is done. After that is various tips and tricks. You know, I've got a particular style. Not everyone can do that style. You know, I've got the very jovial, very banter style, and not everyone can do that. People have different personalities. So I will give those tips later on, but I think the psychology is very important. So I'm thinking from all scenarios. So I'm thinking from a scenario of street dawah point of view. I'm thinking from a scenario where you're in the office with someone. I'm thinking a scenario where you're speaking to someone online or anywhere. So I'm trying to make it as universal as possible. Before I was thinking I was going to think just street dawah, but as we know, there's other forms of dawah, and not everyone does street dawah. So I think one of the first points is we shouldn't have any inhibitions at all when we're trying to approach someone. There should be no embarrassment, no fear, no awkwardness at all, because, and this is linked to intention as well. You are going there not to impress them with your personality. You're not going there to impress them with your talk. You're not there to say, look what amazing perfume I've got on my clothing. You are there, the whole job, the point of approaching this particular human being, whether it's on the street or wherever, is to call them to Allah. That's the first thing, right? So your intention should be crystal clear. Once your intention is crystal clear, you should not be worried about anything. So when you're approaching them, there should be no inhibitions, there should be no nerves. Another point is, look forward to chatting to another human being. These points are from my heart. This is the way I approach it, and inshallah you can relate. If I'm in, like, I do a lot of street dawah, right? Or in campus dawah, or whichever situation. When I approach someone, I'm approaching when I'm looking forward to the conversation. Not, let me just throw a lot of words out, let me say a few lines, and then hope for the best. That's not the ihsan, that's not excellence. Yeah, we do everything with ihsan. So I look forward to the conversation. I look forward to the human being. I want to get to know this person. Yeah, not too much, it's not an interview, but at least from the beginning, I want to get to know them. So when you go with this mindset, you look forward to the conversation, you want to get to know this person, that calms you down, that makes you relaxed, and that makes them relaxed. And you can see that the conversation will start in a very easy way. And another point on psychology, and there's many points, but I'll make this last for now because otherwise we'll go on and on, is what's the worst that's going to happen, brothers and sisters? What is the worst? When you list it down, it's actually a drama you made in your own mind. Nothing's going to happen. You're not going to, very rarely in street dawah, very rarely have I heard of a brother getting punched or, physically assaulted just because the person said, hello, can I have a chat with you? Can I talk to you? Can I have a discussion about the purpose of life? Yeah. So think about that. You can eliminate it. What's the worst that happen? Will this happen? No. Will this happen? No. Will this happen? No. And once you've gone through the list of all the worst scenario that can happen, the worst case scenario, you'll actually realize it's actually not that bad. So that calms you down. That makes all things relaxed. So these are just some of the points, but I don't know if you brothers understood that any of these points, inshallah.
Yeah. So there's something I really like what you said which is look forward to the conversation. Have the mindset of looking forward to speaking to someone, because that will really shift the way you approach a discussion, because you're not going there and feeling like you're doing something you're not going to enjoy doing. If you look forward to that discussion, getting to know that person, you go into it with the right state. But one thing I slightly disagree with you, bro, I want you to clarify a bit more, is where you said that there should be no anxiety, there should be no fear, there should be no worry. But we have to remember, bro, and I want you to sort of clarify this and give us some more tips on this. Psychologically, that some people find it it's easier said, bro, as you know, but I'll give you my example on people that I know. You can tell them all day long. You shouldn't be worried. You shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't have anxiety. But they will still have it. That's just their nature. They get afraid from conversing with people, starting a conversation with someone strange. So what practical tips would you give, bro, for that type of person, which can not completely eliminate their anxiety, because it's really practical. In most cases that won't happen, but bring it right down to the point where they can function in a really comfortable way. So give us some practical stuff there, bro.
So
fill that
in some of the training, what I usually do, and maybe I could do with you, is I would ask you to give me a situation or a scenario. So if you're going to say that, okay, let's say you're in Leicester Square and you're about to start a Dawah conversation, and either someone's approaching you or you've been asked to start approaching people. So is that the kind of scenario we can work on? Because if you want to get practical, then I need to...
that's good. We can work with that. So what we're saying is you're in a busy area and you've got materials in your hand and you've been told to go speak to someone, and you can see people walking by. And trust me, it's very daunting for some people to just the thought of approaching someone they don't know to talk to them.
Why though? Why?
Well, there's probably 101 different reasons, bro. Like it could be upbringing, it could be experiences, negative experiences people have had with engaging with other people through childhood and growing up. It could be a whole host of different things, which it creates a barrier. So you feel it. It's like you want to do it. You know you should do it. You know there's nothing to be afraid of, but you still have that barrier. So what practically can you give us?
There's a few things I would say to you and other brothers and sisters. Yeah, I would say first of all, the people that are going past, the people who are rushing past, especially if I give London for example. In London, in central London, people are known for their frown. They've got a particular frown. They've got a particular demeanor. They walk in a certain way. The way I look at it is they're doing that just to test you. They're actually doing that to test your nerves. So if you want to win the test, if you want to win the game, then you got to approach them no matter what, and you got to stop them. And once they're stopped and there was a conversation, you'll see that their facial expression will change. Especially when you say, you look like the kind of person that wants to chat to me today, or you seem. When I saw you, like what I do is a lot of people in Leicester Square, example, when someone's going past, I pick on them and I say to them, out of all these people, I feel some special vibes from you. I know it's very cheeky, but it works for me. So, and when they start talking, so many people, they say that, you know what, I'm glad I stopped. Although I didn't want to stop, I'm glad I stopped and spoke to you. So first of all, you got to say in your head that it's a test. They're testing you, right?
Yeah, I get that, but now it goes into the other point now. So some of the stuff you would say, for example, which is very creative, very it's almost bordering, cheeky, Bro, most people I know, brothers, they won't be comfortable, let alone approaching someone. They will be super not comfortable in starting a conversation with someone in that way. So would you advise different types of initiation, words and phrases for different types of people?
Look, you can the way the brothers do that store in Leicester Square, you can either say, and there's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're building up confidence. You could say you could use the same lines. For example, excuse me, can I have 10 seconds of your time? Excuse me, can I have 1 minute of your time? Because a lot of brothers think that, I need to have 10, 15, 20 minutes. And when you say that, you feel scared saying that. They're all busy. Yeah, they're all busy. They're going towards, again, I'm looking at Leicester Square as a scenario. They're off to date, they're off to gambling, they're off to watch a movie, they're off to, get a meal or something. The thing is, what you need to do is you need to not think that they're in a rush. Yeah, you need to think they have got time. Because if you ask someone, can I give you a leaflet, or can I ask you a quick question? Yeah, I always use that. Can I ask you a quick question? Yeah. When they stopped, they'll say, no, I'm in a rush. But if they stopped, it's actually a blag. They have got time. Because if they didn't have time, they would have keep on walking. They would have ignored you. But the fact they acknowledged you and stopped, they've got time. So you should take heart in that. You should take inspiration from that. Okay, you know what? And once you have that one conversation, bro, you got to keep doing it. Don't just have that one conversation and then 6 months later no conversations. You got to keep doing that. Because one of the things that brothers do and sisters, I've noticed, they like, especially in campus Dawah, they do that freshers fair. You teach them confidence, motivation, everything, and they do that 1 week of like Dawah, and then nothing for 6 months or even a year. And so just like riding a bike, just like the first time you start to read a book when you're a child, anything challenging at first it will be daunting, but you keep on doing it. You got to keep put yourself out there, live on the edge of your comfort zone. Keep pushing yourself, keep challenging yourself. So think to yourself. A lot of it's psychology, bro. Yeah, think to yourself, that this person wants to chat to you. He's actually waiting for you to stop him. Yeah. And then look forward to, and this is the feedback I've had, you've had as well. You know, when you have that conversation at the end, let's say you had good rapport and you've given good, you articulate Islam very well. They, you know, when they appreciate, they can, you know, I'm glad you stopped me. I'm glad we had this chat. Hold on to that. Even make a note of it for next time. Yeah. That, you know, I stopped someone and inshallah, potentially I've sowed a seed and potentially I've saved them from the fire. That gives you a lot of confidence for next time. That gives that.
Okay, that's good. That was good, bro. But what about what would you say? What about where people have a genuine fear of rejection?
Okay,
this is one of the biggest reasons, right?
Why would you have the fear, bro? Why would you have the fear? What's the anxiety? No. My question, because I've been hearing you guys like this is the genuine question. Like the first thing, everybody has their own way to connect with the people. That way, I connect with Nadim Bhai, you connect with him a different way. Because I need to find out my way of connecting with my close people. Then I need to read people. What is my specialty to connect with the people? That's a different thing. Number one, when you say anxiety, people have a different upbringing. They have a fear of the speaking. That's understandable. The main thing is when I'm going to Dawah stall, what's the anxiety about? Because I'm not trying to make it like so cheesy or flowery word. Like first, I understood that Dawah is important. I'm going to give Dawah. That's one thing. When I'm convinced that I should giving Dawah because I'm going for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, I'm clear here. So when I'm going, the rejection is not a problem. Because our Prophet, they give Dawah for 900 years. They knew that. They was more concerned than you and me. They had a reason to be grief and sadness. But for us,
but bro, I think this is a bit flowery, bro. I'll tell you why. Because look, the whole point of the show is to be very practical.
I didn't finish it. What I'm saying.
No, but just before you move on, Joni, on that point, bro, it's important we touch upon that point, if you don't mind, because it's a very important point. We need to get practical, man. People are like, honestly, I'm telling you from my
practical here.
No, I know. But what I'm saying is from my experience as well, bro. Like I've struggled with initiation, So this is valuable. So I'm trying to benefit from you guys in a way that anyone else would want to.
That's
so
what I'm saying from my perspective.
I know, but when you say that the prophets did this and we know we're doing it for Allah, we know all of this, bro. We agree. Everyone watching this and everyone that wants to get involved in Dawah understands this, no doubt. What I'm saying is still there is a very real element of anxiety, fear of rejection, just things that have conditioned us in a way through our lives to be in a state of mind where we want to do it, but there's such anxiety that holds us back. So it's and I'll say again, bro, it is flowery to just dismiss that and overlook it. That's why I was asking Nadim more. Give us more specific tips on how to overcome anxiety.
A lot of it is psychology, bro, and then hopefully through this psychology, some practical, actual tips may come through. Number one, you know, when you're in the Dawah, you have to understand that being before you're going out to Leicester Square, before you're about to approach this person in your office, before you're about to interact with someone, family or neighbor or whatever, you have to have a preface. You have to have a certain game plan. You have to have a mindset. And some of the thinking you need to do before you approach them, whichever question, how's it going? Can I ask you a question? Whatever. You need to say that Dawah, half the Dawah or a lot of the Dawah is being rejected. So you got to say to yourself that I am going to get rejected. Because then when you are rejected, when you are ignored, the blow isn't as hard. So when, for example, when I go to Leicester Square, I know already I'm not going to be naive and say, you know what, like when there's new fundraisers who've never done Dawah training and they think they're going to go out there and have 100 conversations and 10 shahadas. Hello, wake up, smell the coffee. The world isn't like that, right? When you go out there, expect to be rejected. Number two, enjoy rejection. It's actually fun. One of the things I do. One of the things I do in Leicester Square and other places in a busy area, when someone walks past, I used to have some lines and just create a bit of banter. So, for example, Leicester Square, a common thing is, so I'll go up to someone and say, excuse me, can I have a quick chat with you, sir? They go, no, I'm in a rush. I say, what's the rush? So they're going past me, I'm approaching them, so we're exchanging a few words. I say, what's the rush? And then they say, I've got to catch a train. I have to go and catch a train. And I say, but trains are heavy. How are you going to catch them? Cheesy like that. Or for example, I'm rushing. No, I can't stop. I'm rushing. I go, are you Russian? But you look English. So the point is, they're just two examples of many words. It's that, enjoy that wording, when they go past. So get into it. And, people ask, where do you get these lines from? Where do you get this witty banter? By just replying to what they're saying. Listen to the excuses. Listen to the excuses of rejecting you and not trying to stop. And you can build many lines on that. I've done it so many times. I built a whole like a whole page of lines there. So the point is, you enjoy it, then you don't feel rejected. Number two, again, going back, what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst rejection? I can almost guarantee you, inshallah, you will not be. Nobody will bring out a pistol and shoot you in the head. How dare you try and stop me? How dare you try and you know that's not going to happen. No one's going to slap you. No one's going to hate you. No one's going to blackmail your house and put letters through your house. We're thinking the worst that can happen. Yeah. So don't think about these things. You know, you got to find. So again, what's the worst that can happen? Yeah. Secondly, thirdly, rejection comes in many forms. Like one of the forms that people get very scared of is what I call facial expressions. So, for example, let's say somebody, even if someone stopped to talk to you, and you've conveyed the message, you've articulated it, and they've rejected it, yeah, or they may either laugh at it, they'll say, what gibberish have you just spoken? Quran and universe, what was that? So the eyebrows will go up, yeah, what, that kind of thing, or they'll look you funny, or if they're with friends, which I've had, they'll start signaling, what is this going on about? What we're doing, brothers and sisters, is we're fearing mere facial expression. We're fearing a bit of matter being rearranged. That's the way I look at it, right? So really, it's either you can, and this is what I'm going to lead into the third point. Either you can fear facial expressions, mere words coming out of mouths, mere letters. Either you can fear that, or you can fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, la hawla wa la quwwata illa billah, who has power over everything. Yeah, He made these words and expressions and facial expressions in the eyebrows. Either you fear him, or either you fear the human being in front of you, the limited, the really weak human being. So I've added a few, mixed up a few points there. But this is the way I look at rejection, bro. That it's again, first point, it's not real rejection. It's just playing hard to get. And really, when they say I can't stop, I'm not going to speak to you, go away, you packy, whatever, you extremist guy, how dare you in my country, whatever. What you got to translate as, I can't stop now, I'm a bit busy, but I'll speak to you next time I see you. That's the way you look at it. So these are just some of the points that how I approach it, and maybe you can adopt, inshallah, those kind of things. I don't know if some of those make sense, but anyway, they make sense in my case.
It does.
Alhamdulillah. So I think at this point we'll take some questions. Otherwise, it'll just be a conversation among us three. There's some salams from brother and sister Wajahat. Assalamu alaikum, brother Wajahat. Salam, brother Nadeem. So nice to meet you, brother Wajahat, from Portsmouth and Spain and Turkey. MashaAllah, international banda. Alhamdulillah. Who else have we got? Hussein says, maybe first talk about some sports or anything for a couple of minutes. Yeah, and this leads them to the other part now. Let's say they've stopped now. Let's say they haven't rejected you. Let's say the person has stopped. They said, okay, I've got a few minutes. So personally, brothers and sisters, I wouldn't go into the argument or talk about Allah or talk about Islam straight away. I want to have a bit of a connection with this person. The reason I want to have a connection with this person is because it makes the conversation relaxed, it makes it natural, it makes it flowing. Otherwise, it could become a debate. There's a bit of too much formality, and and also, as we saw, the characteristics is very important. People will not see your characteristics as much if you just go into the argument straight away. They want to know about you a bit more. They want to know, like, what makes you tick, why you a Muslim, why do you worship Allah. So all this will come when you have a good rapport. So one of the things, as brother said, like what I say is, let's say I've stopped someone. Thanks for stopping, Steve. So Steve, and I go straight into it. I go, mate, I'm a big gooner. I'm a big Arsenal fan. Who do you support? Bang, straight away. Rather than, get into the questions, so I just start straight away. So, and, I'm very random, as brothers and sisters know. It depends on my mood and how I am. I'll ask, what, I stopped you, but you know what? I really want to know, what's your favorite Indian curry? I've done this so many times. Because they're expecting you, when you say, I really want to know, like, what religion do you follow? Or, what, how do you worship God? Or they're thinking I'm saying that, but I break the ice completely. Because, when you stop someone, it's a very anxious, a very formal, it's a very icy moment that they've stopped. They're about to get preached to. This religious guy in front of you, the big beard, is going to give you booklets and he's going to be preaching. They're thinking that. But once a Muslim has thrown the whole situation in his head, yeah, now it's going to be a human connection. Well, Indian curry, fancy a bit of Vindaloo. Oh, where from? Let this go on a bit. Let this go. And then at some point you can switch, because then you'll feel good. You'll feel relaxed. And also, brothers and sisters, one of the things is that, again, this is linked to motivation as well. if you imagine, if let's say you went to Leicester Square again, Leicester Square, Central London, street dawah, 3 hours every Wednesday. Let's say you did that every week, every Wednesday. Imagine this: all you did every 3 hours. Hello, how are you? What's your name, John? John, the universe can either come from nothing or it made itself. Or imagine you did that every single time. We're human beings, brothers and sisters. We're gonna get bored. Yeah, you won't be. Oh, I have to go. It's like almost like like a call center, scripted. Yeah. And the other thing is, we want to meet different human beings. One of the things that's interesting in street dawah is we want to meet different human beings, different like backgrounds, different religions, different ideologies, different thinking. But you won't know that until you get to know them, until you ask them questions.
So on that, can I ask a question, bro? On that, I want a bit of clarity. So I'm gonna give you a scenario because I think there's another potential issue here that we need to clarify a little bit more. So what you're saying, I agree with 100%, bro. Is that have the right mindset, think of it in a positive way, prepare for rejection, go in there, have a conversation, get to know the person, relax. All of these are phenomenal points, bro. But say, for example, now, some of this, bro, it's not only what you say, it's tied in with your personality as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, I'm seeing two images in my head right now. I'm seeing you, Leicester Square, right? You're stopping a guy, come out of the pub, you're asking about his favorite football team, what's his favorite curry. It's smooth because you have that, that style. Now, on the other side, I'm seeing Joni do that now. Yeah. Stopping someone asking about a football team or what's their favorite curry. And I'm thinking that guy's going to look at and think he's a weirdo. Yeah. Because a lot of it's to do with me or Joni, both of us, because we don't have that natural charm and that charisma that you do, mashallah. Yeah. So if I was to do it, Joni was to do it, maybe not as much Joni, but me mainly, they'll look at me and think, he's just forcing this question. He's just trying to start, that type of thing. Because if you don't do it with the right energy and the right passion, it's gonna come across like he's just trying it. Yeah, he's trying his luck. So you don't want to do that either, because that will deter the person. So wouldn't you say that depending on the personality type, some people aren't too extravagant and not extravagant, but aren't too energetic, that they should choose what they say and how they start depending on their style? Would you say that's a key as well?
I appreciate what you're saying, but I think, brother, what you're doing is you're analyzing too much of what they're going to think about you. We think too much of what they're thinking about you. We're trying to go into their mind. Okay, so it's like it's a very surreal situation. You're outdoors, you're approaching this person, and you're going to think away, and he's coming to you rather than you thinking, okay, I've got to correct my niyyah, I'm going to say this to them, I'm going to say, what's your purpose of life, how's it going, good day, so whatever. You're thinking, okay, if I approach him this way, if I say this, he's going to think this, or if I say this, he's going to think, what a weirdo. Or if I come in too strong, you say, so
no, but I've seen it happen as well.
Yeah,
because you see it sometimes, like someone tries a strategy and it fails badly because they haven't had the right amount of energy.
It's not a failure. It's not a failure. You think it's a failure.
So I want to know, what would you suggest? So if someone is very shy naturally, right?
Yeah.
Say confidence isn't an issue anymore. They're confident to speak to someone, stop someone, but their personality is such that they're more quiet, they're more timid. That's just who they are. Yeah. Would you tell them to use the same type of style as you would?
No. So again, it goes with mindset, psychology. You have to think about a few things. Number one, how keen are you getting the reward? You're only going to be here for 3 hours, and it's a day over. You're going to go home, and wallahu alim, if you're going to die till next week to give dawah again. So this is golden time. This is a golden opportunity to collect as many rewards as possible. So that's number one. Number two, if you're, the joking, the banter, cheeky stuff, that is me, and it doesn't happen for a lot of people. I understand that. But so say whatever you feel comfortable with. Like if for example, if what works for you is hello. I mean, Imran, you've been to Leicester Square many times. What is your standard approach? I think one of yours is probably the booklet. You probably hide behind the booklet. I think I'm just guessing.
No, I keep it simple, bro. I keep it very simple. I'm not even gonna try doing what you're doing because I know it's gonna backfire. It's not
no, I'm not saying that. Yeah, don't do that. Don't try.
But what I do is I would hand out a leaflet to start with. Make sure you smile at the person and just ask them simple questions.
You've had conversations in Speaker's Corner as well, right? In Leicester Square. And,
that's totally different.
Yeah. What I want to ask you, bro, this has become like a counseling session, right? When you're chatting to the person, right? At one point, do you feel comfortable? Because you've had half an hour discussions, an hour discussions. When do you think are you comfortable?
So with me personally, I'll be honest. So with me personally, it's a case of once the conversation has started, I'm comfortable, very comfortable, right?
Okay.
But for me, it's starting the conversation, and this is the case with many people, it's that initial starting the conversation. What I'm worried about is with what that's why I want you to clarify this more, is that we have to keep in mind that there are different personality types. Some people have the banter style and they're good with that, and if you give them confidence, they could do it naturally. But other people, they may have the confidence, but they just don't have that personality style. So with those people, you have to give them a different type of approach, right? Which may mean simple questions like, have you got a couple of minutes there? Or would you like one of these leaflets or booklets that we're handing out? Just so what I'm trying to get across is that we need people to have to understand that they don't have to force themselves to change who they are to start a conversation. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get across.
I want to do a plug-in. I've made a poster with different types of initiation lines, and I also made a podcast on this, and I think there was a video on this as well. I think, I'm not sure, and a blog on this. Yeah, sorry. So we can share the links afterwards. But so, for example, like this, you could say to someone again. These are different scenarios of trying to start a conversation. Like, so for example, and a lot of these are from amazing IRA campaigns. So for example, excuse me, sir, can I ask you, who do you love the most in your life? So that's not a joking comment. That's actually a genuine survey kind of question, right? So and by the way, survey is another way, a really good way of initiating a conversation, right? If you don't feel you're a cheeky person, if you don't feel confident, you can literally have a survey, on your smartphone, have a few questions ready, literally takes a few seconds, what's your religion, and say, can I do a quick survey on you? And people don't mind that. So you don't come in hard, right? So you can say,
that's good. I like that. That's different. It's like,
so who do you love? Who do you love? Another one is, sir, quick question. Is life just a game to you? I'm just asking people around here in Leicester Square, what's your opinion? Is life a game? That kind of thing. And you take it from there, The other one is, sir, madam, do you take advice easily? What do you think of advice and taking advice and giving advice? So that's another opening thing, right? Another one is, why is the world such a mess? Why is there so much chaos? You watch the news, Why is there such a mess? What's your opinions? That kind of thing. And then you lead it slowly towards, you initiate it towards Tawheed. Books, Imran, you like books, brothers, sisters. Hi, how are you? I'm here asking about books, discussion of books. What's your favorite book? What kind of authors you like? And slowly say, do you know, there's a book I want to recommend you. Because if someone is stopped because they like books, then we have literature, bro. Your whole conversation with, and you'll enjoy it as well. Then you could say, try this book, try the Quran, try Divine Reality, try Hadith literature.
Yeah, that's brilliant, bro. Jazakallah khair. So I'll tell you what. One of the things was, I don't want people to feel discouraged, bro, because I've seen this happen. Because what we want to show people, you may be a quiet person by your nature, and that's fine. You can have your own style of initiation, but the key thing is be confident, be prepared for the rejections, and just go out and do the dawah, basically. Because what happens sometimes, if someone is really shy already, and then they see, mashallah, a brother who's really good and very charismatic and very loud and can do all of this banter, they see him and they become more discouraged, right? And they go more into the show, and we don't want that to happen either. So that's why it's good you clarified. There's many ways. The survey thing is brilliant because some people, I remember we did a survey once in Brixton, and it was such an easy way to start a conversation. Joni, what do you think, bro? What's your favorite way of initiation?
Bro, my way is like I hide behind the leaflet.
He's just saying that now, bro.
Let me tell you that. So most of the time it's hard for, I think me and Imran, we have a very much similarity. So once the conversation is started, I'm relaxed. I can take it like all the way to Day of Judgment, doesn't matter. So it's okay. The only hardest bit for me to stop people saying like Nadeem Bhai, mashallah, that's why, hence why I was saying you must have your own way to connect with the people. That way Nadeem Bhai said I can try with my fresh accent, bro. People also like, no, stop. I was like, this guy is joker. Literally, they all think.
No, they're not going to think that. I'm trying to argue. They won't think that.
No. What I'm saying,
your mind.
What I'm to say, that's my fixed mindset could be. But the thing is, I know what I am good at. So what I can do, I give a smile to them. I give them, would you like to have a free booklet? Sometimes it's literally like that, and people stop and they say, yeah, that looks nice, and then you say, yeah. Then I take the once they stop, bro, I can take the conversation to the next level. That's not a problem for me at all. And you need to find out your own way to connect with the people. It cannot be just like, I have Nadeem Bhai told me 20 different points and I'm gonna use them. It might not work for you. People are different. So this is it, bro. That's how I'm been giving it up for 10 years. That's how I do.
Alhamdulillah.
Brilliant.
Look, there's another
Brothers,
point I want to add.
I'm gonna have to take
Oh.
your leave and everyone's leave. Jazakallah khair, bro. Honestly, I was asking questions personally to benefit myself. So some of those points, like inshallah, are really gonna benefit me. Because one of the things I loved, and I'm gonna emphasize again before I go, where you said that go with the mindset of wanting to really get to know have a conversation, basically. Yeah, because we don't think like that, right?
Yeah.
We just think, okay, it's difficult, and I just need to deliver the message and be in and out. But no, we want to go and have a genuine conversation with people. That was a brilliant point. Okay, I'll see you tomorrow, brothers and sisters. Inshallah,
Yeah,
take care.
see you tomorrow with Ziaba, inshallah. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum.
I just want to also what Imran saying, just add it because I was about to add that point as well, which is this is probably one of the most important points. Is when we do Dawah training, Joni, yeah, we do a Dawah training session. You've seen it, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever, and you're learning certain arguments, intellectual arguments. You're learning knowledge, ilm, Quran, Sunnah. There's a lot of brothers think they think they have to memorize everything, but this is a habit. When you're in training, when you're then you've got the training, and now you need to apply it to your life. What happens is when we're approaching people, you think I have to remember every single point in my training.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I have to like, and I have to. So the thing is, brothers and sisters, it is not a lecture. A Dawah conversation is not a lecture. It's a two-way conversation. You got to look forward to a conversation, not a lecture. Number one. Number two is, again, psychology. It's a psychological trick. Look forward to the person. Not that. Just don't even think that you're there with a life. Is life just a game T-shirt or a booklet, or you're out town center and you give them Dawah? Don't think like that. Just go out there as if you're having a good time, and you just want to make as many friends as possible. That's the way I do it. Today I'm going to come out and I want to collect Facebook names of brother guys. I want to add to my contacts. I want to add to my WhatsApp. I want to make more new friends. Some friendships might become amazing, long lasting. Some friendships will just be just a few days. But that's what I'm going to do. If you go with that mindset, if you go with that view, you'll actually enjoy looking forward to the conversation. You look forward to approaching the people. So go with the mindset, I want to become this person's friend. And the other thing is, let's say they stop now. When they stopped, be curious about their life. People love attention. I always say give a compliment is a very good thing. Look, sir, look, by the way, before I start, that's a very striking jacket you're wearing. Amazing jacket. Where'd you get it from? Yeah? Or, something like that. People love attention. And the other thing is, ask them about, like, what do you do? What's your job? What are you doing today? Be curious, because people love getting attention, and us
be genuine.
Give them attention, right? But when you're curious, be careful. It's not an interrogation. It's not a police interview. What are you doing? What's your name? What's your mother's name? What's your dad's name? No. It's going to be very smooth. And so you can ask one question, what's your name? What do you do? And they've said, look, my name is John and I work at the railway station. You said, that's really interesting. My name is Nadeem and I do this. And so once they answer your question, you need to give them about you. So that's how it becomes natural, inshallah. Yeah. So two-way conversation, not a lecture. Not that I need to go for the whole go out. I need to tell them the oneness of Allah. I need to, like we said last week, you might as well get a book and smash it on their head. You might as well say, what you should do? If that's like that, you should say, stand there. Hold on. Thanks for stopping. Basically, the universe, that's what you're doing. When you're not trying to connect with them, you're just lecturing them. Nobody has got time for a lecture. Anyway, Jazakallah khair. So I'm just looking at any questions, Joni.
Please.
Excellent advice. Hussein is saying, bro, Imran, if you're not funny or so, then maybe choose specific people who I think you're willing to listen to, maybe from your contact list, invite them over tea. Okay. So a very good ideas there, mashallah. Again, Hussein is saying, bro, Nadeem, what to do when people just say, Yar, I know everything. Okay. Talking about non-practicing Muslims. So I just finished conversation with a bit of banter and that's it. So this is more to do with obviously not non-Muslims, but more non-practicing people. Joni, how would you approach that? And then I'll inshallah come in.
To a person who said, I know everything.
Yeah, you must have had this. That you're trying to, someone that's not praying, that maybe is involved in haram and this and that, and then you try and give them Dawah, and they go, look.
I hear most of the time like few things. I know everything, and also I have a strong iman. I don't need to pray. These are the very common one. So I have a Muslim family. I have a family. The Muslim people, there's like, brother, I believe in Allah. I don't pray, but that doesn't mean I don't have a iman in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's a common, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can hear them. So
Yes.
the people like that, they need to understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran give a parable of the iman. What is iman? Iman is la ilaha illallah is like a tree. It's like a beautiful tree, and tree that fruits is so delicious that it can benefit that tree from throughout the years. So what happened is like when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give a parable of iman with the tree, what does it mean? It means if you have a tree at your home, bro, you cannot hide it. Tree grows, isn't it? If the tree grows, you cannot hide under your bedroom. It's not something like that. So if you have a iman, if I have a iman, it must be shown in my action. It must be shown in my character. It must be shown that when I'm talking to you, that's iman. Iman is not something abstract philosophical thing that you just hold a view. It's not about that. It's about you hold a view and you put yourself into practice. That's iman. So that means when someone is asking you, actually, I know everything, I don't have to practice, it's kind of like a height of the ignorant. By the same time, the way you approach with them with a loving way and tell them, brother, this is what Islam says. I know you know everything, then you also must know this is what Allah says in his Quran, that iman is like a tree. Iman has a certain condition that must be followed by action. So they will know. Then you take the conversation from there.
No, it's a very beautiful way of looking at it, bro. MashaAllah, excellent. I would also add, Hussein, I've got a feeling from your question, and I've had this question many times. Again, what I just said previously, which is maybe you're giving too much lecture and not two-way conversation. Because it seems like me, yaar, you know, Urdu, sar mein dar kar diya, Baba, Maulvi, Baba, Quran, Sunnah, Quran. So I've got a feeling, and this is a lot of us, again, we learn, I know Brother Hussein is taking the IRA course recently. Once you've done that, once you've taken a course, you get this lift of knowledge. When I did when we did in 2017 with the specialist course with the Imams from the USA, Sheikh Fahd and Muhammad Ijab, all these guys.
Yes.
That 9-day course was phenomenal for me. I remember the next few days after that 9-day course, I wanted to share all that information that I've got to everyone. I just want to gun it everywhere. That's what happens when you get knowledge. You just want to listen to me. I've got something to say. Listen to me. And the thing is, if you're invited to do a lecture, that's different. If you're invited to do a halaqah, that's different. A dawah conversation where you're inviting is a different dynamic. It has to be a conversation and more to do with them than you. So with this person, I would do a few things. Yeah.
Yes, like it's very important before I forget when you said like
go ahead.
To understand the differentiation between the halaqah, giving lectures, and having a conversation with a person. When I'm talking to someone with the intention to giving dawah, I must realize that the person that I'm talking, he is a human being just like me. He has a soul and they have intrinsic value. They are not an emotionless robot that I'm gonna program them and they will just start saying what I said. It doesn't work like that. So you must think like that I need to be present with them, be a present human being. And you know, there's so many ways you can connect people with their Rabb. Ibn Taymiyyah said he said there's 2 books of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of the Al-Quran and another book is the Kainat. There's the whole universe. You can some of them you can connect with them direct with the science of the universe. You can tell them nicely, look, brother, look at the flower, how it's blossom. Isn't that beautiful? And the fact that we can understand, we can appreciate the beauty of the blossoming of flowers. It's amazing. I find it amazing. What do you think? You know what I mean? There's obviously people have a different way, and also there's another way. This is the kalam of Allah. You can tell them, look, you know, there's in the Quran, in the Surah Baqarah, Allah says, "Kayfa takfuruna billah." This is amazing to me. It's amazing. Allah is asking to us, you and me, like, how can you deny God? What do you think about that? Wow. You know, there's a way, like that way you do. You have your own way. I have my own way. But always remember, be present with the human being. It's not giving you lecture. Go on, please.
No, alhamdulillah, Jazar. Good points, bro. As always, mashallah. I was going to add that what I do with some people, this is my style. If I'm working on someone, I give them a time limit of 6 months, and then I take a break. So for 6 months or 3 months, I want to work on this person via text messages, via videos, via calls. You know, video calls are the best thing, by the way. You know, a lot of us think that if I send a lot of WhatsApp messages, if I send them files, documents, videos, hope for the best, all of a sudden they'll change. No, it doesn't work like that. You need to have a chat with them. Ideally, face-to-face with coffee, lunch, buy them lunch. Always a good way of initiating a conversation. People love food, especially free food. So that's another way. But give them 6 months. If after 6 months they're becoming stubborn, they're saying things like, "Yard, leave me alone, shut up, go away, you're just talking," then leave them alone. There's nothing. Then come back to him afterwards. And then when you do come back, ask him questions. We need to do more thought-provoking questions. Bro, what do you think of this? I like this question said, you know, what books do you like? What kind of books you like? Oh, I like this books. And then you can, once the conversation started, you slowly link it to Tawheed, to Islam.
Yeah.
What kind of videos you like? I watched this video, this really funny video. Okay, can I send you a video? Different ways of starting conversation, inshallah.
Yeah. You're like sometimes you can speak to people ages and they don't want to listen. But what happened? Like you say, if they say leave me alone, leave them alone, and then what happened actually?
Yeah.
Sometimes people learn through the stage of their life.
Yeah.
Like when life breaks them down, they realize that actually I need to step back. I need to think of my life, and then then the right moment, if we speak to them, it clicks in their fitra.
Strike
so
when the iron is hot.
Time.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes, exactly. Sister Noor, Joni is asking, what about those that say they know those they don't know much, but they say no need for this knowledge. We aren't going to be scholars, and we don't have any questions about deen to study and get more knowledge. Not sure if I understood the question properly.
So what is the question? I didn't get it actually.
Yeah. Sister Noora, could you maybe explain, or maybe our producer's got it? He's always, mashallah, you can pick up things really quickly. What about those that don't know much, but they say no need for this knowledge? Okay, sister, if you can ask that question again, Shah, no problem. Akasha have asked what bad would happen. Yeah, so help us out here, bro.
I think basically it's saying that people who say, look, I don't need to have that much knowledge. I'm not going to be like a scholar or anything, so there's no point in me learning all the stuff you're talking about, I think.
So I would argue with Silver. How do you know? You just made it up. I'm just joking.
It depends who's asking. If it's someone who wants dawah training, they say I don't need dawah training, or is it someone who's you're giving dawah to and they go I don't need this knowledge? I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe she can clarify, inshallah. Okay. So Sister Kasha says no one can know everything, so we must choose a topic and grab their attention. Yes, exactly. Akasha says what bad would happen? Then don't be afraid of rejection. Okay. So yeah, some good points, mashallah. Very good point, Brother Joni. Sister Fahila says, alhamdulillah. Joni always makes good points, mashallah, of course.
Mashallah.
So before other questions come in, I also want to add a few other points, and then, we can not close this topic because there is a massive topic. So like we touched upon last time, if someone's a bit aggressive, like maybe they don't like Islam, they don't like you preaching to them. This is my approach. I would say let them rant. I would say let them, all those misconceptions, say to them, you know what? For the next 2 minutes, I'm not going to say nothing. Yeah. Please say whatever's in your chest, get it off your chest. I will not judge you. I will not get angry. I will not bring out a sword and say, Allahu Akbar. I won't do anything, because they think, non-Muslims think that Muslims don't allow questions or they get offended easy, which is true. We are very sensitive. But in a dawah situation, in a dawah scenario, we need to let them express themselves. So the non-Muslim, let them express themselves, let them get it all out. All the crazy stuff they've read from Daily Mail and Express and all the other nonsense and Fox News, let it all out. Then the fact that you're listening to them, if they're sincere, they'll appreciate the fact that you listen to them. So you already know you got them. Yeah, bro, you were saying?
No, I like you said, I highlighted. Can you guys see I highlighted something? Because when I like something, I highlight. Okay, so anyway,
read it out for us, inshallah.
I'll read out. It's a Surah Kahf, chapter Cave, the cave. So in the verse number 29, Allah says, "O Prophet, if someone disbelieve, let them disbelieve. If someone don't like to believe, let them believe." It's like we don't force anyone. There's no enforcement, nothing. But how amazing, as a da'i, me and you, we need to bear in mind, there will be people who will reject you, no matter how beautifully, eloquently you present the Islam to them. They will reject you, and be ready for that. Like you said, celebrate your rejection.
Yeah,
there's nothing. You need to understand that this is a part of your life, and I don't understand how can that give you anxiety if you have a right mindset. Like Allah said it clearly in Surah Taha. So we send this Quran to make your life easy. It's not a burden upon you. So as long as you have a right mindset and a right clear mindset, and you go, people reject you smile. That's fine. You did your job. Doesn't matter. Yeah, so this is it. You need to understand those things, like what I'm doing, why I'm doing, and after the result in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is it.
I think I also so just a couple of more points to add, inshallah, is that wherever you can, give personal stories. So talk about your change. Like, let's say if you are non-practicing, or even if you're a Riva and you're a Da'i and you're non-Muslims, talk about that. People really appreciate that. Say, look, I want to tell you my story. Even if after you've asked their name, what's your name? My name's John. Okay, John, do you like stories? Yeah, I've got a really quick story for you. Because every human being, they love movies, the movie mania, and stories like a small movie. So if you say that to them, and I've used this in Leicester Square, I really appreciate it, especially your own story. John, I've got a beard now, and I feel like I'm more of a devout Muslim. I'm trying to follow the rules of my religion. But you know what, John? I was a bit of a crazy lunatic many years ago. Can you believe it? I was a proper hooligan. I wanted to go and smash up with Millwall supporters and that kind of thing. That's why I looked up to that, So I had some crazy. I used to think religion is boring. So when you say these things, people appreciate that, subhanAllah. And the last point I want to give for today is that, brothers and sisters, initiation has various types, but there's the other initiation which is linked to Tawheed, which has to be said as well. This is basically, a lot of people have got a lot of questions about Islam. They're going to have questions about Sharia. They're going to have questions about misconceptions, what we call uncomfortable questions about Islam. Yeah, something they've read, they misunderstood, and of course, in this day and age, Islamophobia is rampant. And Christians, missionaries, and militant atheists, neo atheists, they are having a field day. They are taking Islam left, right, and center. And us Muslims, we are listening to this, and we think we need to answer every question. One of the greatest ways of initiating a dawah conversation is say to the person, let's say they've got a question. I don't know. Do you guys chop the hands of a thief? Oh my God, you chop 50,000 hands every week or something like that. You say that's an interesting question. That's an interesting perspective. But you know what, John, Sarah, in order for you to understand the answer to your question, if you want a profound answer to your question, if you want a comprehensive answer, let's discuss the concept of Islam first. Let's discuss what is the foundations of Islam, and you'll see it makes sense. There's a lot of common sense and there's a lot of rationality in there. Then you take it to Tawheed, because that's the best way to initiate conversation. Otherwise, a lot of dawah conversation on the streets and one-to-one, they will discuss a rule of Sharia, which a few scholars discussed 1,000 years ago. And for the next 2 hours, all you discussed is this rule. And there's no Allah, there's no His oneness, there's no does He deserve worship, there's no paradise, Jannah, there's no preparing for death, nothing. All you've done is had a 2-hour debate. He's gone away angry.
Dry.
You're angry. Your heart is dried up, and it's become strong. It's become dead, and subhanAllah, stone cold. And you don't want to come back to dawah, and you think, you know what, I can't be bothered with this. So, brothers and sisters, any question people ask you from now on, that's a good question. But in order for you to understand the answer to your question, let's discuss the concept of Islam first. Remember that, inshallah.
So, having said that, Nadim, that doesn't mean they will ignore the whole question. Obviously, they will give the basics of Islam. Then, if you are able to address the question, address. If you cannot, refer to someone who knows.
I personally don't. I don't need to, but it does sometimes, because what we're saying here, if they understand that God exists 100%, there's no doubt about it, and that He is one in His nature, and He deserves worship, and the prophethood is true. The prophet has to be true. He can't have lied, and that the Quran, this book, is preserved, and it cannot have any contradictions, and it is perfect, and it is divine. Once they've understood that, then of course, whatever the Quran says, whatever the prophet, messenger of God says, we obey, we take it. It makes sense.
Makes sense, yeah. After that, they shouldn't have any question if they're genuine.
Exactly.
Yes, Sohail bhai.
Assalamu alaikum. Just to let you know, you've got 5 minutes left. But there's quite a few comments of it. I just want to go through the. Nadeem, you've been going up and down in the comments. So we'll stop from the top.
I must have missed some. Yeah.
We'll start from the top if that's all right. So we've got salam. Quite a lot of salams.
Alaikum salam. Great comment.
Much needed advice. Alhamdulillah. A lot of salams. I think this is a question that was asked previously. Can a woman do dawah online, and should you be a sheikh before you do dawah?
Look, we're not here to give fatwa, nothing. But what I would say is, you can, of course, if you're going to be online talking about fashion tips, silly memes, that kind of thing, then of course you can call to Allah as well. Of course, and especially in Ramadan, the most a month of reward, a month of Quran. So 100%, sisters. In fact, this is one of the best ways you give dawah, especially with this lockdown. So, sister, definitely engage dawah. Yes, you should always seek knowledge, and you should know what you're conveying, because we don't want to just make up things in Islam. It's a huge sin, subhanAllah. So as long as even if, for example, you're very confident and talk about the oneness of Allah, you studied the categories and you can express it well, then go for it. But I don't see there's no reason for sheikh in there. But keep that connection with the Sheikh, of course, in your dawah journey.
Simple.
Yeah.
I think this is a really good point. This one about you should fear Allah, not the people. When it comes to in terms of your mindset, is that just remembering Allah and that fear is not to the people, it's to Allah. It's easy to say, a bit more difficult to do, but it is something that we should keep in mind.
Bro, I probably might come across arrogant sometimes, Leicester Square, and I always believe the dawah Leicester Square is almost like a battlefield, because there is where you can be a bit more chest out and be very confident. If you're timid and behind the table, then people see that and they don't warm towards that. Yeah, maybe some do, but the way I look at human beings, sometimes this may come as really weird now. Yeah, but I see a bunch of lump of matters going around. I just see creation. That's what I'm saying, creation. A bunch of limbs, minds, and hearts. That's it.
The real the matters.
Why are we fearing just a bunch of limbs, a couple of eyes, which are they're so weak. We are so pathetic, as human beings. Subhanallah, yeah. But I mean pathetic in a from a weak point of view, not like ridiculous. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who made this vast universe, the galaxies, who has power over everything. He has power over emotions. He has power over thoughts. He has power over hearts. We should be fearing him. We should be in awe of him. When you're in awe of Allah, you don't fear human beings at all. You don't fear their rejections, what they say, their facial expressions, the way they word, mere words. Don't let mere words scare you.
Allah Akbar.
Sorry, my little one just walked in the room. Right, another one. Also, some tea biscuits on the stall. That's a good idea.
No, 100%.
Gift is always good, bro. People like food. Like Sohail loves
But then you have to offer the people as well, because
Joni doesn't like food anymore. Joni's a vegan, I think, still. Joni, you vegan still?
I'm losing weight, so yeah, kind of.
Vegan. Nice, alhamdulillah. Okay, what else is there? Oh, sorry, I think Joni left. Oh, no, there he is. Okay, confidence is key, alhamdulillah. Okay.
I made a lot of jokes.
Here's one. How do you stop someone in a busy street? Some quick points, one-liners.
So I always say, I never say, can I have a quick chat about Islam with you? Because I know they're not going to stop, because they're in a rush, right? So I would say, can I have, instead of saying a few minutes, I say seconds. Can I have just literally a few seconds? And if they stopped, it's not seconds. But then again, it's a cheeky blag. Some people said to me, hang on, we've been speaking for 10 minutes. You said a few seconds. I go, well, minutes are made up of seconds, aren't they? So that that kind of thing. Again, I could do that because I built a connection with them. I could be cheeky now, yeah. I would say, free gifts, because a booklet and a booklet is a free gift, and it's probably one of the best gifts. If this booklet means a source of guidance for them, and they're potentially safe from the hellfire by the will of Allah, then what better big gift can you give? That's a huge gift. So we're giving out free gifts today. We discussed in the Ira show about free Qur'ans, always a winner. Free Qur'ans always gets people to stop. Things like, can I ask you the way you got to say it, that's why I say, can I ask you a very quick question? Like, you've got to be really curious about it. You can say, can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? Can I ask you a question? You can do that. Or you can lock onto someone. By the way, don't try and stop every single person on a busy street. That's crazy. Lock on someone from 20, 30 yards away if you can. Wave at them or something. Get their attention. They're like, me? Yeah, you. I want to ask you a quick question. It won't take long. Seriously. Oh, okay. What's the question? Where did you just come from? Something like that, And that breaks the ice and that kind of thing. So yeah, just these kind of things. But I've got a whole, inshallah, maybe you could touch on Street Dawah, another program, because I've got a whole lot of stuff on that as well, inshallah.
It's a good point about differentiating between debating and discussing, which is a very good point. I think we've mentioned this before about making the conversation comfortable and then asking for then talk about religion as well.
Make them comfortable and make yourself comfortable.
Paving the path slowly. Good. I think this is is this you?
Yeah, this is a blog for more ideas on initiation tips and posters.
Good.
Inshallah.
I was about Imran. Allah would you guys. To be honest, the leaflet is good. Alhamdulillah. Okay, good. Great tips. Gonna try this. Jazakallah khair. Alhamdulillah. Compliments is a good thing. Compliments does also work. These are people laughing at your jokes, I think.
I think of one more line. Say, I'm giving away something free today. And they go, what? An amazing conversation with me. What's your name?
Nice. Such a dad jokes, man. You and your dad
they
jokes.
work. Your cheesy jokes, cheesy one-liners.
You and your cheesy dad jokes. Seriously.
This is for you, bro. Cheesy one-liners. When I used to do fundraising, I say to people, cheesy one-liners won't work in a pub or a bar or a club like that, yeah? But they will work on the streets because the whole dynamic is such.
Maybe I think it's to be honest with you, for me, it's all about banter. It's all about creating banter and being able to create that. And you're going to get rejected, full stop. So you just be prepared. I think you're right. You made a great point that you're most likely going to get. There is going to be rejection. So just be.
It's part of the hour.
Just be aware of it. Prepare yourself for it and be in that mindset. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. If the world didn't reject, then the whole world would be Muslim by now.
Yes.
The rejection is a part of our life. It's the way Allah wants it. There's hikmah behind this, subhanAllah.
Okay, good. Alhamdulillah, some good tips.
Brothers and sisters, can I say one last thing, Shah? Because we time up. You need to get involved. I said this last time. The more you get involved in dawah conversations, the more you're rejected, the more mistakes you make, the more you try different approaches, the better you get. Yeah, absolutely. I've been doing this for many years. At first, I was rubbish as well. So, and this is my old mate Sasha Briggs again, mashallah, from Qatar. Making human connection is the initial step. And I've got to say, shout out to this brother. He's a 90s boy. I learned some tips from this guy as well, mashallah.
All about the 90s boys, man.
Telling you, man.
Those who started the dawah in the 90s, bro.
The kind of stuff they got up to, bro. Practical jokes and stuff.
Well, we didn't have there was no cameras back in them days either, so it was all good.
Yeah, exactly.
No camera phones, so it's all good. All right, I think that's it. To be honest, bro, I think that was the last one. If you don't care about humanity, dawah is not for you. That's a very good point. Alhamdulillah. We should be compassionate. Jazakallahu khair. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Where did Joni go? He left early.
Johnny had to do his thing and
I will say to the brothers and sisters that this show is about to end. There's another show about to happen, as Sohail will talk about it more. Please share this, inshallah. Let's do one more share, inshallah, so that people can watch this and they can support this amazing organization, inshallah.
Yes, brothers and sisters who are listening, we have what's coming up next is our live appeal for the Islamic Diversity Center. The show you're watching now on NewcastleFastFM, on your YouTube or Facebook, is a part of our organization in the northeast of England, the Islamic Diversity Center. We set this organization up in about 2001, and the purpose of it was to clarify the lot of misconceptions that people might have about Islam. Obviously, it was around the time of 9/11, so it's an opportunity for us to give us a voice, to give Muslims a voice to say what Islam actually is. So we set this organization up. It is a dawah organization. It is the only full-time dawah organization in the northeast of England. So we need funds. We need funds. We are a charity and we need funds to continue the work that we're doing. Brothers and sisters, if you can donate to our cause and to help as much as you can, please donate, even if it is a little. All you got to do is go to supportidc.com, or you can go to paypal.me/Islamic Diversity if you want to make a one-off donation. If you'd like to make a regular donation, which would be really amazing if you could, even if it's just £5 or £10 a month, that'd be really good. If you can go to idcsupporter.com, be an IDC supporter and allow us to continue the work we're doing, including shows like this, including Newcastle Fast FM, which happens every Ramadan. We try and do these things out every Ramadan, and we're continuing to grow all the different activities that we have, including New Muslim support, including all the dawah activities that we have. If you want to get involved and help us, brothers and sisters, please donate. We really appreciate your help. We have a target today of 3,000, so please be a part of that target to try and help us reach that target, inshallah. So like I said, supportidc.com, or you can go to paypal.me/Islamic Diversity, or if you want to make a regular donation, idcsupporter.com. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah bless you all. And I'll let Nadeem, close the show off, inshallah.
Yeah, nothing to say. Thanks for participating, and inshallah, tune in for tomorrow where we've got another special guest, inshallah. And look forward. I think you'll enjoy this show tomorrow as well. Yeah. So, jazakallah for me.
We've got our fundraiser coming up next. So please stay tuned on Newcastle Fast FM. Look out for our live appeal. If you can't do anything else, please just share it. Inshallah, by you sharing it, maybe someone else will donate because of your share. So please share it, and please share our links as well, and let people know. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.